Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome to Chill Vibes. I still feel so dorky saying that, but welcome in. And we have something very special that I didn't even talk about last week because I didn't know it was happening until this Monday, which is we have Hamilton here from Mozilla. So Hamilton is a data scientist, and actually that's all he told me to introduce him as. So Hamilton, would you like to talk more about who you are? Actually, I think your background is super cool, but who you are, what you do, and what we're working on.
Sure. Well, first, thanks for having me. This is already a lot of fun. So I'm Hamilton. I've been a data scientist at Mozilla for a pretty long time, for over a decade at this point.
Oh, whoa.
Surprise!
I didn't know that, Hamilton.
I have been doing data science since before they called it data science. It was something I'd always been interested in, math and statistics, and so I got a master's degree in statistics, mostly with a focus on the actual statistics, like modeling and inference and things like that. But I've always been drawn to data visualization. And I was especially drawn to the way that data visualization on the web became a thing. I used if people remember Protoviz way back in the day, before D3, it was a whole thing. I think that was my entryway into it. And then I've done a lot of stuff in D3 over the years and have done all sorts of things for Mozilla in my decade. But with pretty strong focus on building data visualization systems for the company to show lots of counts of things, basically.
So cool.
Also, I've been doing it for a long time, but I did it part-time for a really large chunk of my decade at Mozilla because I was also a musician as well. But that's for another conversation later. Just throw that curveball in there for everyone.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Your background is so cool. You're casually, one of our meetings, you casually were like, yeah, I used to be a musician. I'm like, what? Super cool.
Yeah.
So I think where this came about is that we have our Monday sync meetings, and then I was sharing with Hamilton all of the awesome ideas that everybody was basically giving us in the chat. And then we started really kind of brainstorming about different things that we can do, and got so excited that and then it was because we got so excited we brainstorming so many different ideas, and at the end we were like, wait, we should have recorded this because now we can't remember half of them. And so then I think maybe Hamilton, you were like, oh, we should have captured this on stream or something like that. And that's why we're here. Hello, Gilliam, welcome in. I just realized that I'm looking at the wrong thing to see the chat, so actually, sorry, give me a minute or a second. I Hamilton knows this, but before we started here, I was making a mad dash to try and get my stream set up for two people, because I think I've only done this once, so it was cropping Hamilton's face and everything
Into a tiny box.
Actually, can you see? I don't know if you're on the stream, if you're looking at the stream.
I am. It's a trip seeing the delay.
Oh yeah, you get used to that after a while. I stopped paying attention to the video itself, and I only look at the chat. But yeah. Oh no, did I? See, I made so many rookie mistakes today. One of which is that, oh, no. Okay, I sent out the right notifications. Okay, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit frazzled trying to set up OBS so that we can do two people.
A Friday stream is ambitious, I think.
A what?
A Friday stream is ambitious. I rarely have the energy to set something up.
Oh my God. Yeah, I also don't know why I decided to do this to myself, but actually it's kind of fun because I think there's actually a lot of people from Europe that join this stream, and then and for them this time is 11 p.m. I think, And then I'm like, are you guys okay with like, I'm so sorry for going so long. It's like, midnight or 1 a.m. And they're like, it's okay. It's Friday night. We don't have work tomorrow.
Maybe they're having a drink, kick it back.
Ooh, hello to both Gilliam and hello near this. Welcome in. We have a very special session today with Hamilton. Should we kind of start talking about the project, Hamilton?
Sure.
Yeah, you want to tell us a little bit more about Rally?
Yes. So, Mozilla Rally is an unreleased product from Mozilla, and the premise of it is that we want to pair regular people with academic researchers that are studying misinformation and tech monopolies, things like that. And Rally itself is a data contribution platform that allows people to actually contribute their data to these types of causes. So the data gets collected through web extensions, basically, and then sent back to our secure encrypted environment where the researchers go in and do the analysis, publish the papers. A lot of these researchers have had kind of an impact in the world. They've testified in front of Congress. They are known quantities in the policy world. So it's a neat opportunity actually for regular people to try to make the world a little bit of a better place, at least the internet, if not the world.
Yeah.
So how does this project fit in very specifically? So the Rally team acknowledged that to do this thing of pairing people with these research studies, we should try launching our own study. Because it's always good to, I usually use the term dog fooding, but I was told that that's actually kind of gross. I should have said, it's good for us to drink our own champagne. So we are putting together a study. Isn't that nicer?
Yeah.
We wanted to put together a study that actually showed people aspects of their own browsing behavior and sort of show them interesting insights. It's a view into one's life that I don't think most people regularly see, because so much of our lives are actually conducted on these tiny boxes now, especially during this pandemic. So it's such a rich data source and it's really interesting. So Shirley and I have been jamming on a lot of different ideas around this. And I put together basically just a kind of simple prototype of a study add-on, gave it to Shirley, she installed it, collected a bunch of data, has been visualizing it. I have my own very basic, boring, maybe embarrassing browsing data ready to go as well.
I feel like
so that's the context.
I feel like both of ours are equally boring, which I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that says about either of us. But at least we're like,
I think
at least we're very boring together.
It's our age.
Yeah,
it suggests how old we probably are.
Yeah, actually, we're probably in about the same age range. Ooh, hello, welcome in to Adrian and Nicholas. And actually, Gilliam is the one that has been asking like which project it is. So I think he's finally found the right one.
Yes. Yeah, I see. There's a GitHub link in the chat.
So that's the right one, right?
Right. That's the one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And we've combed through your data a little bit already, but mostly my data. Actually, I think there was another question we had in the chat last time, which was, where can people sign up if they're interested in being part of the study? Or is it a closed beta right now?
It's a great question, actually. We are about a month actually from our alpha soft launch. So soon we will have a new shiny experience. Rally is the rebranding of another project called Ion, which already is actually in the Firefox browser. If you go to about:ion, there's a whole experience in there. That's not an experience we want to support, and the new Rally sort of branding, everything that comes with it it's much shinier, much easier to use. So I would say in about a month.
Cool. Is there any way, like anywhere that they can go to stay notified, or is it like?
Oh, so soon there will be a way to sign up for a mailing list, but not today.
Okay.
We should schedule this when we had an email sign up form available for people.
We can have you on again. Like when it launches, and then because our goal Sorry, I'm like doing weird things because I'm trying to like move my heater, like foot heater around.
Same.
Do you have a foot
I have
heater
two pairs
too?
of socks on right now. Well, I have two pairs of socks.
Oh man. Um.
Yeah, it's
Uh.
cold in the Bay Area.
Yeah. Bay Area is weird. Although it's really sunny for me today, so I'm very happy about that. Um. I also, so what we're trying to do today is, so on top of kind of the soft launch you have for Rally, actually, I'm also still a little bit fuzzy on the timeline because for us, what we're trying to do is, like you said, drinking champagne, our own champagne, and kind of give a little bit of like a gift back to the people that participate in the rally survey, the rally study, and we're trying to build out something like a weekly report. And this first phase of this client project has been trying to kind of figure out what might be interesting in the data set. And then there's going to be a second phase where we kind of, so the first phase is that we come up with a proposal of potential product ideas, I guess. Is that the right term?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
To potentially build in the second phase. And so personally, I'm like, I hope I get to stick around for the second phase because the first phase has been really fun. But that's kind of where we are. We are like, this is our fourth week, right? And then our goal is to have a kind of proposal ready by week 6. So this is kind of by next week, we're hoping to have like a solid set of ideas and then kind of like start packaging it up into like a good proposal, right? That's the goal, right?
That's the goal, right? Yeah. And also, so a little bit of clarification too. So what what the shape of the proposal, rather, what we plan on building as proposed is going to look like the kind of study that these academic researchers are doing. In that the code is going to be a web extension, if you're familiar with those. And people will sign up through the same process that they may sign up for an academic study. One of the big differences, though, is that the study will actually teach you about your own browsing in cool ways. That's the goal. That's one critical difference between the two. But with that in mind, we want it to be cool. We want it to be beautiful, obviously, and we want it to be interesting. Because one thing that I have learned from working on this with you is just how much this feels like catnip. Looking at one's own data, it's so weird. Even if it's really boring, something about it's just so fascinating. People always want to learn about themselves in this way. So
I personally think both of our data sets are super fun, but that's only because I really enjoy looking at data. And then because we've talked about it, right? Actually, I'm going to switch us to the code view so that we can see the observable notebook we have, because like we talked so much on Monday about like fun things in the data. So we spent like a good 20-30 minutes digging through this together. Should we dig through yours a little bit? This is my data.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because we were talking about my trying to find sweatpants, which by the way, I'm in this past week, I have another set of trying to find sweatpants because it turns out all of the sweatpants I bought were too big, even though I used their like size measurements from Old Navy, like their little table. But no, it's so that's that's a tangent.
If you were to look at my data right now, you would see a pair of saffron sweatpants come up like 1,000 times that I'm looking at.
But we don't have your data for this past week. We only have.
We don't. Well, I have it ready to give.
Did you
to
want
the
to give
gods of data visual? If we want, we don't have to, but
I don't know.
I think it's a few weeks of data. I don't think I've shared. Have I shared since the update to the add-on with the like new form? Maybe I have actually. I'm not sure. Anyway, I do have. I kept it on installed, so I've been collecting my data.
Me too. Actually, should we look
weeks.
I wonder how big my data set is now. I'm like a little bit embarrassed by my data this week because I like put on this one. I watched Netflix and I watched YouTube this week.
Oh yeah.
And there's one Netflix show that I put on called like Bling Empire or something.
That's great.
It's
Bling
like,
Empire.
It's this like reality. So it's basically this like reality TV that's basically like Crazy Rich Asians, but in real life they're like super crazy rich and living in LA. I have to say, it was like most other reality TV in that it was very vapid and um
What we want. That's what we like right now.
and then I went into this like string of Google searches, like searching up every single every single one of the main cast. And so now I probably just have like a string of like
You have a rabbit hole.
I have a
rabbit hole.
Except it's not I don't
Yeah.
think it's a true rabbit hole in that like I wasn't going down like links. I was like
Right. That was shallow.
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
search it every single one of them was like a depth of 1, but then it was just it just a lot of them at the same time all related. And I don't know from a programmatic standpoint how we would know to group that together. Other than that it was around the same like same time, but like I don't think we would know just by the browsing information that they're all related because they all were on the same like reality TV show.
Right. Yeah. And temporally, this is always the problem with this stuff. There's always like a hidden kind of task state you're in with this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like in your head, it was like, I need to learn about all of these cast members. And so, but it's hidden. It's hidden from everyone else. And the only thing we get to observe is those individual events. And there may be distractions in there that could get in the way of actually doing that kind of classification in a robust way.
Yeah.
It's an interesting problem.
Oh yeah. I think also I should say that like, every single one of my client projects are quite different in how they're structured or who my point of contact is. And I've been really enjoying working with you, Hamilton, because you do have such a strong data science background, which I don't have a good data science or data analysis background. So I've been like really enjoying just like bouncing ideas off of you and then being like, oh, maybe we can do this. And you're like, oh yeah. And then, yeah, so it's been really fun. And so I'm glad we get to do this another day of the week too. Oh, yeah. Weird. I only have 4,500 items. That can't be right because I've
59. I probably should have made these more human readable. 59,803 seconds. How many is mine right now? That could be right. I'm just clicking on mine because I have 62,000 seconds, which who knows what that is. I should probably turn that into hours or minutes, knowing how impressive it is. I have 9,000 items here.
You have 9,000?
That could be right. That could be right.
Wait, hold on. Let me look at...
what?
I thought... Oh, wait. Let me look at how many entries is 1 week for me. Maybe I just don't go to that many places? No, look. So this was maybe 2 weeks ago or something. Yeah, this was week 2, and it was 3,000. So I feel like it's missing something. It's 4,500 items.
It's entirely possible. Let me think what could be the possibility.
Oh, or did
it could be oh, that's possible too. Yeah. Is it last first here or is it? I can't ever remember. What did I put?
Oh, I think I reset on the 23rd, it seems. What? No.
Oh, okay, that would make more sense. Yeah, because I apparently reset on the 19th.
Wait,
so that's why I have whatever I have.
I don't think I ever have reset.
When was the last time you exported the data? Do you remember what the exported data file name was? Did you save that somewhere?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, it looks like the 18th. So,
Is it every time you export? Wait, hold on. File.
Well, I will say this: the add-on that we're both using, the web extension, is still a prototype.
Fair enough.
So if it corrupted the data, in some way.
Fair enough. Ooh, I think
that's a bummer because I patted myself on the back for writing unit tests for that part.
Yeah.
So maybe it didn't.
Wait, so I exported I think on the 18th or the 19th it seems. And then but then for some reason it ends on the 23rd. I wonder But yeah, so I guess this is what it looks like. Ooh. So hello near this says could imply a time on each site to show a research trend. So we do have elapsed time, right? So we have elapsed
we do.
Milliseconds here.
Yeah. And one of the things that's really cool about this project is we have complete control over the data collection itself because I'm just putting together the code in a web extension. And so any suggestions that we actually get from the Twitch chat have been really interesting to think about, actually just adding straight into the prototype and then trying again in the next week.
Yeah. And that's actually why for today, I think there's two ideas we were bouncing around. The first being the rabbit hole idea. And that one, we were going to use your data because your data actually has the referrer attributes.
Right. Yeah.
And then, because that's going to tell us when you open up a new link from a specific entry. And then the second idea, if we can get to it, depends on how quickly I code, which could be potentially not quick, or how much we talk, which might be a lot. Many variables.
True.
And the second idea is how much we overlap. So for that one, let me actually show you. Let me actually draw out some ideas I had. So this is my iPad. Okay, let me bring that over. Okay, that's.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
What a cool idea.
Thank you. So the first idea I had of the rabbit hole, I think for the rabbit hole, we can just, probably the easiest way is just to have like a tree, right? So then we probably need to get it into some sort of like a structure that's, let's say we started, I think it means that we probably want to say, do we want it to be like a session? Like a specific session? So like, let's say it's Twitter.
That's a great question.
Like, would it be every single session on Twitter grouped together and then everywhere we went from there? Or do you think that, no, it should be a particular session, right? Sorry.
Totally. I think that's a great place to start, I think, because Twitter is an example of like a site that actually just spawns a lot of random directions. People, like, I'm constantly clicking new articles and things like that. So that makes sense when Twitter is like the central node. I'm trying to think of other types of rabbit holes that people have. I'm thinking about your example of a Bling Empire. I think Google was that central point for you where you went to Google and then you just searched like a ton, right? And you probably had, maybe you didn't even click through whatever the search results were, but it was just like one big Google thing. I'm wondering if there are other examples of these types of rabbit holes where this model breaks down, where you have one site as the like generator of the other things.
Yeah.
Like shopping.
Ooh.
Maybe that's the case there because you're Googling when you're shopping as well.
Wait, hold on. I have a request to keep the names of the fields in a box in the corner. Ooh, so that would be helpful in terms of. So let me see. What's all I have here somewhere all of the metadata. Is this? Here we go. So this is our metadata. So let's keep that in the corner. So actually, I do have a question about how you're recording the refer, because so that particular one, for example, like the shopping, that makes sense, because then like if I Google for like sweatpants, then that Google results page would be where I would like open up a bunch of new tabs. And this one, we're also trying to kind of show like how many tabs do I open and never close, right? That was one of them. Or sorry, never read. And then this one, I think.
Right.
Oh, for this one, we probably need some sort of a unique identifier for that particular tab, right? Do we have that?
That is right. It's even more complicated than that, actually, because of how browsers work, unfortunately. Okay. Because we do have tab IDs that is available to us through the web extension. Here's the problem, though. It's not always unique, and it's unique in a slice of time. It's not unique outside of a slice of time. So tab ID 22 could be used 10 minutes later.
I
So it
see.
becomes a little bit tricky. So one possibility actually has been to get rid of tab, not even use tab ID, but actually do something like page load ID. So this is sort of what I'm thinking about right
Oh.
now, which is that when you click on that search result and the page loads, it has a very unique kind of tab window URL sort of hash of some kind.
I
So that way
see.
we're like, okay, we know exactly that particular page load comes from, this particular thing. In theory, we may actually be able to have something like refer page ID or something like that, as well as refer, so that we could actually do that thing that we want to do, which is each one of these events, these attention events that we have,
Hmm.
we could like, okay, I was on Google, I clicked the first result. I know that this new attention event was spawned because of the page that was loaded in this other one.
Hmm.
So like that would be one possibility. That may be the best solution for exactly what we want to do. Because
Okay.
otherwise, we're just stuck with what is refer right now, which is whatever. It's basically when you click on a link, the server that takes the request will get the URL that you were on when you clicked on that link and add it to the
I
HTTP
see.
HTTP header. That's what we're pulling out.
I see. So
Yeah,
today, what we build would probably be like a slight bit imperfect version of what we want to do, right?
yeah,
I have a
I
dumb
think that's right.
question, which is, I if it's that we just want to keep track of the right tab, and because I think to answer, um, actually, so each of the entries, what we want to do is connect the entries that are the same tab or the same place that, like we go back to the same tab or something. Um, is the URL? Can we connect them based on the URL?
I think we probably could. So there's a few things we can do. Like I'm thinking about a few of the what does it look like to the computer when we do certain activities. So if I'm like just, let's say that I am just in one tab and I'm got the Google search results and I click on a URL, we know that should be a really clean, in theory, it should be a clean mapping of refer, so that the very next event that spawns after that will have the refer as Google. That should be really clear. If you click the back button, it'll be another one of these tab updated events, as they're
Mm-hmm.
called. There's like tab updated, tab activated, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
When it's just pure tab updated events, it's super easy to actually track because we're basically getting a
Mm-hmm.
window directly into one tab's behavior, what that one person is doing when they're
Mm-hmm.
clicking on links. The problem is when you have other tabs and you go and you click another tab.
Yeah.
What got us there? That's sort of the tricky part. And that's why this like having a page ID or something would actually be the way of like bridging
Got
everything
it.
together.
Got it. Ooh, Helen this asks if the timer for is the timer is for active tab. So
It's for active tab.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like what you call Hamilton of that it's the attention. Like each entry is an attention. Um and oh, Gilliam asks if you can hash the tab ID and the time it was created, perhaps.
Yeah, I think if it were, yeah, I think that's probably the way to do it. There are probably other ways of doing that as well, but I think you need that tab in time, basically, in some way, whether it's with the URL or otherwise. Both could work.
Okay.
Yeah,
So this is one of the ideas of being like, we started from Twitter, and then let's say like we went to some news site, and then like maybe from that news site we like went deeper into this rabbit hole, and then Twitter also brought us to like a YouTube video. Oh, I liked your whole someone sent you, what was it? Someone sent you a video or something, and then that like led you to YouTube.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Oh, that's
that was
right.
fun.
Here's
What was
here's your
that?
data.
There's some anime. Yes.
Wait, is this no wait, this is my data
Oh, this
still.
is yours. Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna put in your data, which is your data is basically
Oh, it's so sad. Just all Google Docs.
it's on Google Docs. And then there's some real estate. There's your real estate
Oh, right.
bubble.
Zillow. That's right. There's good joke. I like that.
Um, wait, what's this
Because
make
we're in a real
easy?
estate bubble. Anyway.
Oh yeah,
Um,
haha.
what is, oh, that's weird. What's that about? Can you remind me of the what the edges are here again?
So these
Like, why is
are
Google to make use of
oh,
connected to Zillow?
Google Maps is apparently how they're connected.
Oh,
And then
weird.
Jerry Strisky is
No
how
idea.
Google and the Atlantic is. But I guess here is the reason why Zillow and Google are related is because because you Google for San Leandro.
Oh, probably. That makes sense. Also, BART.gov, I was probably looking up
The
what BART
closest.
stops were close.
Like this
That
is.
makes sense.
I feel like even just this and like I think this is we talked about this because this is why quantify self is such a big thing because we just want to know more about ourselves and then like even though this itself is such a mess but then it makes sense to you, right? Oh, and then this I remember this is your bubble of financing.
That's
The
right.
purchase price and purchase
That's
transaction.
right.
And the bubble
Yeah.
size is how long you spent
Oh, I
on.
spent quite a while on some spreadsheets.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Well, you know, like, come on, if like if you're shopping for a house and you're like a data person, like your
yeah.
spreadsheets are gonna be like off the chain, right?
Oh, actually, I think when we were shopping for a place, I don't think we put anything into spreadsheets because I don't think we put any of the places that we were looking into spreadsheets. But what we did do is I had my husband pull up, I think 2 decades worth of real estate data, from the Bay Area.
Love it.
And I had him analyze the trends to see if it was a good time to buy. And the conclusion we came to was that it was not a good time to buy when we were looking, or
Yeah.
rather that it was not a good time to buy in the market, but it was a good time to buy for in our lives because we were engaged and we were about to get married, so we wanted to put the money
Yeah.
into the house first before we put it into the wedding party. And so we were like and so yeah, but I'm glad we did that because we were like, wow, this is a really shitty time to buy, and we almost gave up because we were like, well, this is not a good time anyways, and then we found this place and it was pretty good. So yeah.
That's basically where we are, like literally identically to what you just described, like to a T.
So
It's kind of never a good time to buy in the Bay Area anymore.
yeah,
At least
that's
it never
true.
feels like it. So,
That's true. Yeah.
but you know, everyone's got their values that they want to live in their lives.
Yeah.
So
And
maybe that's part of the equation.
and actually the reason why I wanted like that it made sense for me to buy well for my husband it's because like he wants to stay in the Bay Area, and for me I want to travel and live in other places, so then having a place to be able to come back to is really nice so that we're like not priced out of the Bay Area.
Totally.
Um,
Yeah.
Ooh. I think Gilliam is trying to distract us. He's like sharing this trick for mouse overs. And you can set your cursor to an emoji using an
Oh
inline.
yeah. I saw
Okay,
this.
I'm gonna not. Usually I get distracted by this kind of stuff because it's just me. But because we have you on, we're not gonna get distracted.
I
by
did when I first saw that tweet because I saw it like I don't know a few days ago. I was like ready to go down that rabbit hole of
Ooh.
building a chart as a cursor or
Oh
something.
man!
Wouldn't that be cool?
Wait, okay, we are going to go on this tangent really quickly.
Let's do it. Yeah. Why the heck not? The
Um,
people, they want to see a goofy SVG mouse.
Whoa! What?
Isn't it cool?
That is so cool. Why haven't I done this in my life?
The one thing that I wish it did, or rather that I wish somebody would do, and I think you could probably do, I use Svelte a lot. So full disclaimer, I've become I'm overly invested in the Svelte ecosystem. But one thing that's really fun to do though is this would be really easy to prototype in Svelte. And what I wanted to do is actually capture the motion so that you can make the rocket actually kind of move
Oh,
like that.
that'd be so
Wouldn't that
cool.
be
The
fun?
trail. Oh,
Yeah,
that'd
I'd
be
like
so
to
cool.
show the little trail.
Oh,
Can we
wow.
just do that instead of our work?
Yeah, I'm getting really distracted. No, 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 no. We said we were gonna do something. Okay. That was really distracting. That gives me too many ideas. Okay, we're gonna come back to this.
Put a pin in it. We'll come
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Um, okay, got a little bit distracted there. But what we were gonna do is, um, uh, so this is one idea of the rabbit hole. And this is
So,
the first one I want us to do. And this one I feel
yeah.
like the harder part is in, I think, the preparing the data. And then
Yeah.
in terms of visualizing it, we can just use like a D3 tree layout. And then the second one, and this is just for us to kind of get a sense of what the data might show us. This is definitely not like what I'm proposing for the final. It could be one part of the final. And then the other one that I had and I had some thoughts on was kind of, we've been talking about this concept of wouldn't it be fun if we can compare our browsing data to our friends' browsing data? And then so it was like overlap in browsing, right? And then so I was kind of like thinking about what would be the most interesting way to like see this data. And I think one of the thoughts, the very first one I thought of was like, kind of being like, so this is, my side and this is your side. And like, let's say these are all of our, like top 10 browsing websites. And then we just do I feel like it's like a modified slope chart of like, maybe you,
Yep.
like maybe it's,
Oh, that's a really cool idea. Yeah.
yeah. But then I think
So the why here is just the rank of time. I mean, there's so many things you can do with kind of the slope chart like paradigm here, I think. But that's a really great place to start.
Well, so the reason why I was hesitant about this is because I feel like usually slope charts have this connotation that it's going from like one year to another, like that the relationship between them is like,
Yeah.
Whereas it's not like I feel like it's a almost, like a ordinal relationship between each
right.
other.
Before, after.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah. I think because that's what you're trying to see in a slope chart, and then for us, that's not the relationship. I think it's still a very interesting way to see like what are our top 10 between the two of us. What's our top 10? I think that's kind of interesting. But it was the first idea I had, and I think potentially interesting. Another thought I had was I can't remember what it's called, but it looks kind of like a heat map. But then one side is your data, and then another, like let's say the left hand side is your data, and the top is like your data, and then we color the bubbles where we can coincide.
So it's a symmetric matrix.
Yeah, matrix. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
And that one only because we can do it really easily with Vega Lite, and so from a like data exploration perspective, it would be really easy and fast to do. And the final one is the idea was to do just a graph, like this sort of graph, and then we color them by you or me, and then we link them if we've gone to the same websites. And that one I thought would be interesting because then we can see all of the orphan nodes that aren't connected, and those would be all of the places that we haven't, or that you and I have visited, but those are like the places that I visit and you don't, or vice versa. And so I was thinking about that graph idea actually, because I already have the graph code written. So
yeah. Oh, I love all of those. So something that can you go back to your so some things that I think sparked in me when when you were talking about the talking through the rabbit hole idea.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I've been thinking of is like one way that we could like think through, build some intuition about the dynamics around browsing.
Mm-hmm.
Be really interesting if like just taking Twitter as an example.
Mm-hmm.
We know, I think the beginning here's my hypothesis, right? Which is that we know at the beginning of someone's Twitter rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Typically they go to Twitter, assuming that they use their browser, they probably also use their phone, but we only have browsing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can we like use that first event as the entry point to thinking about what someone's Twitter sessions look like?
Mm-hmm.
We could think of some different possible exit points. Like, for instance, I think we have when the browser goes inactive, if you've stopped using the thing for like 15 seconds, we have no elements. There's some things like that. But I'm wondering if actually there's something to just thinking about that sort of, what would like a Twitter rabbit hole look like for different people? I'm thinking about ways that we can kind of compare it visually in some way. Thinking about like one way that you could visually represent it would be like kind of like a node type thing, but it's a sequential node thing, where and basically as you go down the Y, it's time that has elapsed. If we could find that demarcation point, it'd be really interesting to take all of your Twitter sessions that you've had over the past few weeks, put them together and see how they look visually, and maybe there's something that could be done there. In terms of comparison, treating them as like organisms almost. You know,
is each Twitter session its own individual tree then?
Yes, okay. One small little tree, and the embedding works where the nodes, the farther down you go, it's just time. So it's actually sequential. You could show. I wish I had maybe I could try drawing out an idea real quick on a notepad and hold it up to the camera.
Okay.
To show you what I mean.
If you start doing that, I'm gonna start preparing our data.
Yes.
To do this.
You want me to send over my latest data? Would that be useful?
Let's start with this one because
cool.
It's smaller, and I think that might make it more manageable. Ooh. Oh, this is interesting. So, sorry. Gilliam says, perhaps comparing how deep one tends to look into things versus their friend on the same topic. This Twitter story might differ highly between chronological timelines and the other one. So,
I believe it.
Wait, I'm not 100% understanding. Twitter story might differ highly between chronological timelines and the other one. Do you know what the other one?
Yeah, I think
actually
there's like lots of different ways of conceiving of a rabbit hole. I think what you have pitched actually is largely around task directions, right? Like you spawn out another tab and then you like go and visit it a bit later, versus kind of what I propose, which is like actually the attention. How does the attention stream line up over time? For instance, I don't open new tabs like that very often, and I certainly don't spawn off tabs and read things later. I just like have a very Marie Kondo style browsing.
That's
where
good.
I'm just like,
that's good.
Get rid of it. No tab brings me joy.
Oh man, I have so many tabs open. That's a good point, actually, and I think that's also interesting too. Of like how thin or fat is your tree? Like my trees are really fat, and yours sound like it's really thin.
Pretty slim, yeah.
Sun7 says different rabbit holes, timeline threads, and DMs.
Ooh, DMs would be a really interesting one too. I mean, God, there's just so much you could do just thinking about one site in particular.
Yeah. I mean, that also assumes that, because I think we spend probably too much time on Twitter.
Sure. And I'm sure a lot of people watching this probably spends too much time on Twitter as well.
Not everyone does. But maybe it's
Shirley, we really gotta find like 5 people who are more normies and not on Twitter and have them install the extension and then see what their data looks like.
Yeah.
It's hard to build intuition with the two of us because we're probably online too much.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Actually, but your Twitter is not that big, actually. Look.
I'm surprised by that, actually. Maybe it's because I use it more on my phone.
But I actually think it also has to do with the fact that for this particular thing, I was limited to just those with descriptions. And so if your browsing didn't have description, it's probably not showing up here. So this is like that
makes sense.
Yeah, it's only a very partial view of your browsing data. So you could have had very interesting, non-boring things, but then it just wasn't captured because they didn't have descriptions.
That visualize. Can you scroll up a little bit? That visualization. This is. Can we plug my data into
Oh
this and
yeah,
see what it
yeah,
looks like out of curiosity? Did
yeah.
we do that before
No, I
on
don't
Monday? I don't know if we
think
did.
so. I think we ran out of time.
No, I think we also
Ooh.
both went like Super Saiyan at the same time with ideas.
Yeah, we went through a lot of ideas. Okay, so I remember telling my chat that you're obviously online too much.
I am I am obviously online too much.
And also,
This is
it was so interesting kind of just seeing the difference between like when I loaded yours, everything just shifted to the left because I start my day around like 10 or 11 a.m. Like I sit down in front of my computer around 10, and yours is like there's ones at like 5 a.m. You were on Google
Oh,
Docs at
I
5
know.
a.m.
It's messed up. Don't judge me. I wake up really, really early.
That's
It's
good.
just it's a curse. Well, not really, because my wife wakes up at like 9 or 10. And so yeah, we have very different sleep schedules. I'm curious to see hers. I'd be curious to actually have her do this as well. But I don't
Ooh.
think she'd probably
Oh yeah, I mean that's
probably very
where
similar.
we started talking about like the friends thing, right? Like comparing with your
Absolutely. Yeah.
SOs. Oh wait, hold on. Here's your this is where you were doing your
This is
this
a weekend.
the weekend,
This must be a weekend.
and this is where you were doing your house hunting, because this is your
Yes.
bubble of like payment term or like loan options, purchase transaction.
Yes, as soon as I saw that, I remember exactly where I was sitting. Like, I remember drinking coffee and just like doing it, just doing all the research that I didn't have any energy for the rest of the week.
And then
So interesting. God, this is what I'm talking about. It's so interesting to
yeah.
only me.
Well, actually, I do also wonder if it's so interesting to the both of us because we're very in line with our own data. Like we're very in line with how we think about data. And then like I wonder if we show this to someone that's like not or not exactly this, but like if we show something similar to this with someone that's not as, like data literate, I wonder if they still would think this is interesting potentially.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I would maybe argue that the audience that we're aiming for are people maybe shaped more like us.
Mm.
Is my hope. Probably less normal people that don't care about seeing how their browsing data looks.
You also actually have a lot of things that went across the days, because like this, for example, like all of the like here and here, it seems like you were working on something similar because this is agenda,
That's just
general
so cool.
triage, GitHub, checkpoints, proposals, action items, and
Probably. This is
like
a lot of work stuff.
agenda time, and it looks like these are connected to each other.
What are
And
the
so,
things that they're connected to?
I didn't do any highlighting sort of thing, so I can't quite tell. But it looks like it's a bunch of Google Docs. You have a lot of Google Docs here.
Probably. I
So you,
mean, listen, there's like a large network of Google Docs that connect to other Google Docs.
you have
Not
Google Docs
surprising.
here, Google Docs here. You have Google Docs here. So that must have been 1, 2, 3, 4. Your Wednesday and Thursday. It seems like you were doing something that were like pretty related to each other. This is
Probably. Well,
and
I
then
mean, I spent so much time in the same set of docs all the time. Mostly like they're like meeting notes, probably.
mm,
I bet you that's what it was. Like,
oh, you also
take a bunch of
have
notes and something, switch back to the other thing next day.
you also seem to have something here that's like they're connected. Like you seem to have worked on something for the whole day here, and then it's then connected down here. It says Farid Musavat, guest post Bengali Kava Elena. You must have been
Oh,
like reading
I
things.
was, you know what? I know exactly what's happening. I was writing, actually, oh, this makes perfect sense. I was writing a blog post with a bunch of links in it, probably, that I was
Oh,
working on over several days that I still
ah,
haven't published yet.
that makes sense. So
Probably, totally.
it looks like
Yeah.
you were working on it around here because you can see it's like really big. You spent a lot of time on it, and then like the links coming out are spanning these few hours, and then it goes
Hmm.
all the way down to either here or here. I can't quite tell, but like the lines go all the way down. So that must mean that it like yeah, it spanned a few days for you.
Yeah. So can you just remind me one more time the edges on this particular graph?
Oh, it's
What
it's
is the connection
basically,
between them?
so this is exactly the same as here,
Yeah.
except where everything is connected. They're either words in the same sentence. So the links are either connecting words to a domain or words to each other in the same sentence. And so this is the
Mm.
same thing down here, except it's stretched across time. So then that's why these
Okay.
links mean that you looked at these like particular domains or websites that had these words. And so that's why like you can see that like you must have worked on something that stretched across all of these times. And this was your Wednesday afternoon. And then you also did the exact same thing in what looks like sometime during the weekend.
That makes a lot of sense because I think Google Docs puts in the description the first sentence or the first few, like first 200 words of your doc in the description thing in the head element. So, so that's like enough, probably enough content in a lot of cases and like enough of those keywords. If you're like writing a blog post that links to a bunch of blog posts, and then you
Yeah.
click on, I feel like that probably explains why those are like very obvious to point out probably here. Whereas I think Twitter is less, I bet you it's less obvious because I don't think they do that.
The
Um,
descriptions? Oh,
yeah, let me just, I'm going to go to Twitter real quick and like look to see what's in the description tag.
okay. Ooh, hi
Let's
Alice.
see.
Hello. I was on Alice's stream yesterday on Doodle Therapy.
Ooh.
I don't know if anybody got to catch that. Also, Gilliam is kidding. He says he's kidding. But he was like, what about Twitch if you can analyze chat as well? We kind of talked about this a little bit between the two of us where it's like, we don't want to get anything from their page because that feels a little too intrusive. Like we don't want to grab any data off of the page that they're on. But we have talked a little bit about like seeing how much they scroll on the page, right? That's something we've talked about.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and this is interesting thinking about it from the perspective of Rowley as a product. There's basically two types of studies that that researchers want to do. One of which is a sort of breadth first study. That is, you kind of want to study how people use the internet generally, and not any specific sites. And then there are these depth first ones, which is like, I would like to study how misinformation propagates on Facebook or on Twitter or things like that, which means that you have to actually understand how the DOM, the document object model, works on these sites. And you also have to be so good at building against adversarial agents on the other side, because think about like Facebook as an example. They run thousands of experiments a day, and your installation of your browser could fall, or your login could fall into one of those experiment buckets, and it could change the DOM just slightly, or in some weird ways it actually breaks your data collection. So it's such a hard problem actually. So in a way to prevent us from constantly being in an arms race against Facebook, that was the first thing we decided for this study. It's like, let's just do something much shallower because it's less likely to break a bunch over time.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Ted, hello, Ted. Welcome in. Says, Hamilton, I think linking directly to tweets has different descriptions versus the home feed.
Yeah,
I've
I'm noticing that now as I look at the home feed. I almost never like click on the link of a description unless it has some content. But now that I'm clicking through, yeah.
I see.
So I think they embed. I'm looking. I should just use the console. Document docket element.
Ooh, Sun7 says I always wanted something like that for myself, which is you could, in like a month or two, in a month. You're going to have a soft launch of this, and you could have. Well, no, this particular project is not being soft launched next month, right? It's going to take a little bit.
This particular project is probably not getting
eventually
soft launch.
Eventually,
but when it is, people that follow this Twitch stream and follow you will probably hear about it in some way.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited. Sorry, I'm like distracting you from every single time you're trying to like find something.
No, it's okay. We're having too much fun. It makes it hard to actually stare at the browser console.
Also, this is what I'm talking about of like, I sometimes just don't get any coding done because I'm just talking too much. Let me at least start working on the structure. So we're trying to build a structure with a root. So we're trying to do a D3 tree. So that's, I think, D3 hierarchy. And then the structure we want is, I think, a root node and children underneath that. So let's see. Yeah, so we want some sort of a hierarchy.
Yeah, are you thinking top down or left to right or something? I'm wondering about like labeling.
Oh,
Do you have any profound feelings about the difference for you?
I think that just from like, if we're calling it rabbit hole, I think it's fun for it to go top down. But from a data structure perspective of like preparing the data, I don't think we need to specify the labeling.
Right.
All we need to do is specify like who's the parent, who are the children. And so I'm just trying to think of like, how do I do this? So let me start. Okay, I'm gonna start to try and code, and we can do the pair programming. So prepare a tree structure with parent and children relationships. Do you like how it's an hour in and we just started coding?
We're having too much fun.
Too much fun. But I actually should also be respectful of when your cutoff time is.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm having a blast. This is my Friday afternoon.
Do you see, I rolled up my sleeves.
I guess you just as you said that's like it's gonna get messy.
All right. Okay, so let's call it tree data.
This is so fascinating because I remember when observable. I do most of my stuff just kind of on my own with my own tools. So I have not used the observable very much. So it's gonna be really interesting to see you actually work with it.
Yeah, it has a few quirks, not that many. And I find that it's really helpful from a like if I don't want to start a like my own local like web server environment dev.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know why, but as soon as I get into a like code editor, I get really bogged down by like all of the stereotypical like software engineer kind of things of like, oh, it must be elegantly written and it must not have like magic numbers and it must be like, I don't know. So I like this because I just write ugly code and I'm fine with it here.
Totally. Because I do a lot of my visualization sketching in Svelte. I use the Svelte REPL similarly, which just makes it really straightforward.
Oh, sorry. I've been meaning to check out Svelte.
If you want to do a stream sometime where we just do stuff in Svelte, we could have a grand old time because at this point I feel like I used it like a year and a half ago for an internal project as just sort of like, oh, I'm going to spend one of my innovation tokens this year on Svelte to see if it's worth using that over. I was using React a lot before then. And I just sort of immediately saw the benefits and I've just been kind of rocking out on that ever since.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna go through your data.
Sorry, I'm sidetracking you now.
It's okay. Let's see. Go through your data, and let's just go through it first. Yours is, I think I just call it ham data.
You do.
And I'm actually gonna do this so that I can, oh man, you have so much data. Okay.
It's a lot.
So you have your URL. Ooh, you look at your Google Calendar. Tab title.
Yeah. I live there a lot.
And then do you have refer? Ooh, this one has refer. Oh, this is where, see, this is cool. Look, you came from,
surprise. Yeah.
You came from your Twitter, and then
so this is an interesting case. So when you click on the Twitter link, it's almost always t.co, and then
Yeah.
t.co it opens in a new tab that captures the refer information, but then t.co then will load the actual URL. So I think it should be one each. So 15, for instance, here, if you look at that, I think, refers t.co there. Oh, tab activated. Oh, there's a window focus change. I see. Yeah.
And then, wait, but then
Maybe
the other ones you have Twitter messages, home. I wonder if, oh, wait, here. I think this is it. C5. Yeah, there we go. You opened it from here.
yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah. This is your tab updated.
Right. So what happens is, I think the outbound reason is tab updated. The inbound reason is tab updated. So usually what this means is that I click on a link, it will, usually it spawns off as a new tab, some sort of new tab event, like tab created. Is that right? How does Twitter work? I'm just going to Twitter and just like clicking on random links. Yeah. Okay. So that should open another tab. Oh.
I wonder if it's you.
Can you click on 4 real quick? Just for my sake.
Yeah.
No refer. Tab updated. And the one above that's just the home.
Yeah.
No refer.
I wonder if it's...
outbound reason tab activated. Is this sorted chronologically?
It should be.
7, 12. Yeah, it looks like it is.
I can sort it in again just in case.
No, it seems right.
Right? So...
I'd be surprised if it weren't. Oh, wait, is it... I didn't even check. Was it last first or first last?
Oh.
Or sorry. Is it the last one, the first entry? I guess we could just see by looking at the timestamps here.
Yeah, so this
very
is
scientific.
going chronologically. So this is going from earliest to latest.
Got it. Okay.
Actually, so what I was thinking is that each root node would be like... I'm trying to decide if each root node should be the... I'm like trying to figure out how a parent node is connected to a child. So like, are we only gonna do it via refer? We can do that. We can try. Like if the refer maps back to something.
Yeah.
Like, am I making sense in my question?
No, you are. I guess you're totally making sense. My my awkward face is mostly staring at the data right now and trying to understand, because I see it's a Peer 39. It's like it was some SF Chronicle article about like how much this writer misses Peer 39, which I don't know if people have not been to Peer 39. It's like a very kitschy kind of experience.
Mm-hmm.
In defense of Peer 39 is the name of the piece. I'm trying to understand how these things, how do you get to the URL that's sfchronicle.com from Twitter home? Maybe this was a tab that was already open. Oh, this tab was already opened a while ago.
Oh,
it looks like.
Okay.
I see a tab activated here, which for the inbound reason, which means that this event was created because I had that tab already and I clicked on it.
Okay. So let me do this. I'm going to make a root node for every single unique URL. So like, for example, this, and I think, for example, these two, the .com/home and /message, /home would be grouped together, /messages would be grouped together. And then from there on, every time something...
Oh.
Yeah, okay, so let me make every single one of these are a root node.
Totally. That makes perfect.
Okay.
I see what you're getting at now. Right. So the idea is that there's one Twitter home. There's a bunch of
things that come out of there.
Things that came out of there.
Yeah. And then
totally get it now.
And then in the second level, I'm gonna have potentially even more things that like triggered from that second level. So it's like root, first level, second level, third level, etc. And so I think what I might need is I'm going to need something that's like a series of roots, and then I'm gonna say all nodes. Yeah, so actually no, I think I just need, I'm just gonna call it nodes. So here's what I'm gonna do. So in this, okay, I think I know. So first what I'm gonna do is register. So either see if URL exists, and then if it doesn't, then go and make a new one. So let's go and make a new one, and then here let's do URL. Actually, I think I'm gonna do it this way. So what information would we want? We definitely want URL and refer. We probably want the start time, right? And then elapsed time?
Yeah, though, yeah, I think that seems right. Because we want to know for each node probably how long they spent on that.
Right?
That
okay.
child node of Twitter. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So let's remember the URL and the and then let's say the lapsed milliseconds, let's start it at 0, and then I'm gonna say and then for each one of them add elapsed time to the node, and so that would be url.elapsed ms plus equals the elapsed time. And then I think what would be interesting is if there is a referrer, find the referrer node and add to its children, right?
Yes, right.
And then, yeah. So if there is no referrer, let's just return. And
yeah, or I guess if the refer string, because I think the refer string's empty probably in a lot of cases.
So that should
does not
be
refer
falsy.
Work with empty. Am I about to ask a stupid question? Oh, okay, great.
An empty
yes,
string
right.
would be falsy.
I never remember that.
Is this like a JavaScript thing, like where JavaScript is just really weird, and it's like?
I mean, it really is, because you could get some funny negative. What is that? True minus false.
I don't commit
equals
to the
-1.
Yeah, I don't.
False minus true. What is -1?
But -1 is true, but 0 is false.
Right.
Okay, and so what we want to do is add to its children, but only if it doesn't already exist. So if there is no referrer, or if it doesn't already exist in the children. Yeah, so
right.
Let's think. I'm having a hard time thinking. So how do I do that? So I say includes nodes url.children, and okay, let's
I'm loving all this Lodash. I forgot
you.
how nice Lodash makes everything. I always just do it manually, and I'm always grumbling.
I cannot live without Lodash. But I think actually I'm also I think because of Lodash, I've been bad and I haven't oh wait. I don't want to do it that way. Because I want to go and find the parent. And the parent should always already exist, right? Because the referrer has to have come before.
Yes.
Well,
that's
except
right.
for, I guess it depends on when they started. So for example, you did make a point of oh, you opened that SF peer thing before.
But but you're right. The parent has to have existed beforehand in any case, regardless if I'm activating a tab and getting to refer out of that, or whether or not it's just because I clicked on a link or something like that. The refer always exists prior. Yeah. And that also makes sense because you can't get to the thing temporally without that thing happening already.
Okay. So
is that strictly true? Yeah, I think that would be true if you're iterating over a list that is ordered by time.
Yeah. Ooh, wait. Gilliam has some questions for you, Hamilton.
Ooh. Would it be reasonable to quantify user interactions with a page beyond scrolling? That is a great and super interesting question. Because scrolling is just one of many kinds of activities that people do. There's also other things that are... Scrolling is a pretty passive activity, actually.
Yeah. So Gilliam was
I think
asking...
scrolling is...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
In a previous question, he asked if we can capture a number of times keyboard is used, for example, as an example. Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, no, I think that's another really great example. What does it mean to be active, I guess? What does it mean to be a participant on a page?
The observer versus participant. So like if you, I like this whole, I think like if you have keyboard strokes, I feel like that's a participant versus if you have, if you're like scrolling or you're watching a video, I feel like that's an observer. I like this a lot. I'm trying to figure out.
I love this. Is it always the case in most places where participants are using keyboards?
Because then that's like you're participating in, like, for example, let's take our Twitter example again of like you are participating in a conversation because you're typing something. Whereas like maybe you're reading through a feed and that's just scrolling.
Right.
Yeah.
And even if I'm like clicking, it's often the thing. I'm not actively participating in. This is like especially true with social media.
Yeah.
But like I might click on a tweet to like blow up the image, but I'm not really participating in the discourse in a meaningful way.
No, you're right. And I think the only potential, I don't know if there's any like caveats to that, because like what if you're using...
you just posted one.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so okay, that just blows my whole theory out of the water. Actually. Obviously, if you click on the retweet, it's so platform specific. But this kind of goes to that point that I was making about deep studies that are like, let's instrument one
or your cat.
Very true, Ted. This is definitely my cat. But this is like really the difference between deep studies where you actually have to have context, use context clues. On Twitter, you have to understand what the points of interaction that you care about are, but then you have to do all that stuff around making sure that add-on doesn't break as Twitter slowly changes or abruptly changes.
Yeah.
Versus these shallow ones.
Yeah. I mean, we can still be like, it doesn't have to be, I feel like it doesn't have to be like 100% accurate in terms of like, we can probably like 90% of the time, it's probably that like, that if you're clicking, it's probably still passive, and then there's like the 10% or something of the time when you are retweeting or something like that. Of like, I feel like we could just be like, caveat in the methodology.
Totally. Or we could just be like very transparent and just count the number of keystrokes that they made on the active page and just say like, these are the number of keystrokes that you entered here.
Oh yeah.
And just kind of like leave it at that.
Yeah,
maybe.
I guess
that might be interesting.
We don't have to be like, we can be like, our guess is that you were participating, or like, I like that. We don't even have to say participant versus observer, but I do think it's a very interesting frame of mine. And I'm
totally, because we talked about that with doom scrolling. The act of scrolling for a while signals to us that it's a weird task that is obsessively looking at social media. Yeah.
Ooh, and Gilliam is backing us up. He's saying retweeting is still arguably very passive in that it's quite easy. So,
It's all about the definitions.
As in not
productive,
value.
Maybe not.
Oh yeah, I like this actually. Not much value gets added. That's fair. That's a fair point. I think I really like this, like, I wonder how we can frame this, because I think ultimately what we want to do is try and, in my head, what I'm thinking is like potentially 3 or 4 different like bite-sized visualizations that like what we were talking about is like potentially gets rolled out on a weekly basis, right? And I feel like we currently have about 4 like maybe 3 or 4 ideas now. And yeah, and I think I'm wondering if like where this could fit into our like different essentially like stories about your data, right? We currently have 3 or
Right.
4 stories of like a rabbit hole, like we also have like when do we usually look at what websites, how boring is our browsing, so I wonder where this participant versus observer can fit in.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to be thinking about it all weekend. Actually, there's so many possibilities there that I think are just really fascinating.
Yeah,
And where we want to draw the line, because you're right, it's ultimately about what story are we trying to
yeah.
put in front of people so
Oh,
that they can see themselves in it. You know.
actually, it could be as simple as like, do you participate more or are you more like an observer? And like, which websites do you participate more in, and which ones do you yeah, which ones are you more active in? Like, for example, I'm sure that like your Google Docs is going to be your most active as a participant. Or are you
And
actually
high
opening up
participation.
Google Docs mostly to read other people's notes? That's
I,
also very
I,
interesting.
I love it actually. And also maybe, well, I think maybe the assumption here is like, okay, a button on a page, right? Like the HTML element is somebody clicking on it. We could just say it's it's actually active in that you are engaging with this site, not just reading. Yeah, I think just as you said, I love this idea. Yeah. Just think about how we instrument that. I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's a very interesting one. Like on top of our like tabs one, I feel like the tabs one had a lot of people that were like, "Oh, I want to know which tabs I have open all the time and never read." And I keep telling
Yeah.
myself that it's going to be important, um, but I never read it. Wait, okay, hold on. So if the node is already in the, so this is basically saying if node is already a child and parent node, don't do anything, because we already have that link. Unless it is that we want to, is there a way for us to quantify how strong that link is for the tree? I don't think the D3 tree layout, I don't think lets us, I think it only lets
You don't get to
us
control width of the
um,
branch or the edge.
Um, it doesn't give us a way to remember that information, I feel like. Because it only
Yeah.
seems to let us remember node information. It doesn't seem to let us remember link information. If we want to remember the link information, we might need to go to some other layout. And I mean, we can just
Yeah,
make a
I could think
note.
of yeah, well, on that topip, like a Sankey could actually, if we want to expose
Ah,
importance of Sankey, might
you're
actually do the
right.
trick.
You're right. D3 Sankey. Is that built in?
I think so. I was using it
Ooh,
for something
ooh,
that was it's top
ooh.
of mind because I was using it for something a few months ago for
Nice.
work.
Is this still like a dot children or do I need to change the structure around?
It's
Hmm.
nodes and links, and you add source and target.
Okay, so I'm gonna stick with tree for now because I already started
Yeah,
on that, and then we should keep this in back of mind of like once we start productizing it, like what actual visualization would be best. So I'm not
yeah,
gonna remember
definitely.
the number of like stroke width, but that's something we can do. We can remember later.
Hmm.
So, yeah, add node to parents children. So I feel like once we do this, parent.children.push node, I feel like we would have the structure we need. Could it be this? It can't possibly be this simple. It can't possibly. It can't possibly be this simple. Okay, hold on. Here, let me make that bigger. Ooh, lots of.
Oh, that's right.
I went to business.
Well, yeah. Did you see the Pinterest predicts thing? Did I share that with you?
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah. So I'm gonna
fun.
take out. I'm gonna, for the purpose of this particular visualization, I'm gonna take out anything that doesn't have children. So let me do that. And then I think that would make it easier for us to see. And actually, you know what? I think that for each node, I'm also going to remember its parents. So if it is not, so that way we can know if it's a root node or not a root node. So let me do that too. So let nodes, so nodes is equal to, let's filter out anything that doesn't have children. So if the length of children is, the length of children must be more than 0. And then let's see how many nodes we have left. Like, let's see if you
will that throw out the leaves?
Not yet. So let me do just, so you actually have 154. So this is not throwing out leaves yet. And then let's go and also remember your parents. Remember your parents. So let's also add parent to child's, add parent to node. So node.parents.push the parent. And then so now we can do, we have to have, so keep only root nodes. So those are with no parents, but has children. Yeah, okay, so that would mean d.parents.length is null, and the children is more than 0. Let's see how many root nodes you have. 89.
Interesting.
Let's also sort which ones have the most. Ooh, yeah, you're right. You were saying that.
That makes sense. There'd be some Mozilla Zoom links.
Okay. Let's sort also by how many children it has. Should we do that? Or this one has 1. Wait, why did it keep?
Oh yeah, interesting.
Wait, why did it keep?
Right, that makes sense.
Sorry, what?
Oh, that would be, so the Zoom link would be the last one after a couple of, like after a redirect or 2, I think.
Yeah, but I thought it would be, wait, didn't I just write only keep the ones with no parents, parents.length, no parents.length, and then yes to children. So why did this one get kept?
Is it, can you switch back to the,
Right, wait, let me run this again. What did I do? So this one is correct. There's no parents and there's only one child. Oh, I think I just opened up.
was it the old one?
No. I just went one level deeper, so then it has no children but does have parents. Duh. Okay,
that's right. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
Wait, let me actually. Context of the Google Docs. Personal, your org, a partner org you're not actually from, etc. I wonder how you would guess that.
From Google Docs?
Or like, I think any other website.
Well, it's really easy to get the context of a Google Doc generally just because the description actually contains the first like handful of characters. Plus the title of the doc is the title, I think. A few other things like that.
Okay. So let's try and draw. I'm trying to figure out an easy way to sort the depth on these. Maybe actually if we put them in a tree, a D3 tree, then maybe it will actually give us depth pretty easily. Should we put it into a D3 tree? Now I need to remember how to use D3 tree. Actually, I wonder if Vega Light. I don't think Vega Light has. So I use Vega Light a lot for just like quick charts. But I don't think Vega Light has a tree that I can just easily plug into. Nope. Okay. Actually, the next thing I can do is just look at if Observable has already made a tree.
Oh, smart.
Ah, thank you. Collapsible tree.
Lots
Ooh.
of trees.
Which tree would you like? Radio Tidy Tree. Should we
I love
just
this.
do...
I'm so curious to know what it's going to actually spit out, because I think whether or not, yeah.
Do you want the
Wanna
Radio
try something
Tidy Tree?
Yeah, let's try that out, because I bet
Oh, you know what we can do? We can just have everything. So we can just make a like placeholder root node and have all of these 89 nodes
spawn off of that.
yeah, and then we can do the radio tidy tree. So here, okay, so this is not a function. So I think I just need to copy and paste this over and then see what breaks. The one thing that I'm kind of sad about is like, one of the brilliant things about Observable is that you can import in functions from other notebooks, but then in these examples, like these like, you know, tree examples or like force layout examples, they don't make it a function. So then like I just have to like, I can't reuse it. And I'm like,
right.
Okay, that was my mini rant. I'm done. Okay, so,
They're so close. Show your work. It'd be so easy.
Yeah. So let's do, okay, so I need D3 tree. Oh, interesting. So they did this. I haven't used D3 tree enough to know exactly what this means. Radius. Okay, I think radius might be the width.
Probably in pixels. Yeah.
Right. Let's see what radius. Oh, they use width divided by 2. So let's just use width divided by 2. Separation. I'm guessing that's like the distance between nodes. I'm guessing like the depth.
Yeah.
And then
yeah,
Autobox.
that seems right.
What is Autobox? Do we even need Autobox? What is
that for panning? That might be for panning and stuff like that. If it's the view, if it's against the viewbox element. Does it pan? Oh, maybe it doesn't pan. Maybe.
Why? What's this for?
Get the bounding box. Is that to probably to position? Could it be to position it? Because you know you create the element, you're gonna have to move it or position it within the view. I have done my own radial things like this before from scratch, which is very cumbersome. And I know you spend a lot of time doing viewbox calculations based on the actual extent of your element, the bounding box of your element.
I wonder why they didn't just start. Oh, I think okay, I understand what you mean now, because I was like, why don't you just put the center point in the center? But then that's a very naive question, because the root is not necessarily at the center of the canvas, and that's what you mean.
Right.
So
yeah.
Man, this is more than I wanted to copy over.
This all just feels like vaguely familiar from like a number of years ago when I tried to do something like this. So I'm just like, what does this mean?
What is it? I just wanted an easy way out, but now I feel like I might be. Okay, let's make this into a. Can
you? What is this? I don't quite. Is this a block syntax of some kind? Is it special to observable?
This little curly is special to observable. So okay. I'm gonna make this into a function. I'm gonna just call it a tree chart, and then I'll pass in the data. And then so now I can potentially just say return tree chart nodes, and let's see how many things break. Okay, so things definitely break each before. I think I have to pass the data into. Wait. Okay, so they have data. I have to hierarchy it. Okay. So I'm just now copy and pasting.
I love it. I feel seen.
Okay, and then here we pass in nodes. I don't think I even want to sort yet. Let's see what this data looks like once we put it into hierarchy. Let's see. Whoa!
Whoa. Okay, one node down.
Yeah.
One gigantic node.
All right, we're done for the day. We're done. Let's see. All right, what just happened? Let's see. Okay. Data. Oh, it's because we forgot to give it a root node. Okay, so I think what we want to do is call it let's just call it root. That is so bad. Okay, let's not do that. What should we call the ID of something? Like, should we just call it URL here, and then for this one,
Yeah,
I'll
maybe
say,
just the URL.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that is the unique element, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's right.
And then children is the nodes. And then... Oh no, I think I freaked out. Oh no. Observable. Oh no.
Oh, what is infinite loop that has crashed this notebook? Or a
Wait,
notebook
why is there...
open in another tab?
Why is there... Oh no.
Whoa. Is there something infinite? There's maybe some infinite recursion going on here.
Or is it just too many? Sometimes this happens when there's like too many. Okay, safe mode. Sometimes they do this when it's just like too much data, or like sometimes there's like too much depth. Let's okay.
Interesting. Oh boy, what is? I wonder what our deepest reef is.
I feel like
Probably not that deep.
Do you think there's a circular reference?
Yeah, right. So it's basic. Yes, it's a circular. Like it's going back and forth because everything is by reference. I think. Is that true? Wait.
Oh wait. Where was my?
That should be the...
Hold on. Let me find my. Oh, there we go. So here it is. I think it might be that.
Yeah, that would make sense. The parent children push node.
Yeah, because I think maybe it's that sometimes you might have a refer that's coming from Twitter Home, and then you might go to something, and then what if you went back to Twitter Home, and then that would be the circular reference. How would we deal with that?
Great question. Is that the reason? Is that possible?
I feel like that could be...
Maybe not with Twitter, but maybe with something else.
Yeah.
Actually, I could see that being the case if you Google something. Well, if I click the back button, I'm wondering if the refer actually is... So like if I say I Google something, I click on a link, and then I click the back button. Is the refer that is sending me back to Google considered to be that URL if I click the back button? I think that is the question I have. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I'm going to see real quick if that's the case, because I think you can look at document.refer. Okay, I'm going to click on, let's say, Twitch, and then do document button. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Document.refer is Google. Maybe not. Okay, so it's probably not that.
What would make
But
it?
I could see also organically doing that. You know what I mean? Like you click on a link from Twitter, and then you click on a link to a tweet, for example, within that other thing that takes you back to Twitter.
if you do a back button, would it register with a refer?
Well, I just checked now and it
Oh,
doesn't
that's what.
seem to.
Okay.
Yeah. I just Googled Twitch and then I clicked on Twitch and the refer, if I go to document.refer, I hope that's the same thing. I believe that's actually what it's supposed to do, and at least in Firefox. It sends me to, it gives me the right refer, but when I click the back button, it doesn't do that. You see, let me just try this again with Twitter just to be 100% sure. No refer here on Twitter. So let's see, then I'll click on a link.
Oh, Gilliam also has an interesting question of, I thought refers were optional headers by now.
Yes, they are optional headers. That is what refer refers to here actually is that optional header. We're just we're parsing the HTTP header when we get the request, and yeah, that's the cheap way of doing it right now. There's a much more sophisticated way that we've got to probably figure out that involves being more alive to what the user is doing instead of just caring about the HTTP header. So our argument potentially before was that refers on your using Chrome was getting squashed in some way, which is why they were all undefined, I think.
Yeah.
It could be just because of the set of add-ons you have, or it could be something related to Chrome that I don't fully understand.
Oh, were you able to look into it, or?
Yeah, I think I know how we can it would be the same type of refer as we're describing right now, which is parsing the HTTP header. But in Chrome, it's actually, I have an alternative strategy that seems to work pretty flawlessly for the type of refer we're talking about. So, yeah.
Wait, okay, so I'm trying to I'm trying to work out the logic of this. I'm trying to work out the logic of, I feel like the only way, because I feel like there shouldn't be any that are like too deep. I feel like. Right? Like why would it crash?
I would be surprised, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to, okay. I'm gonna throw caution out the wind, or whatever that phrase is.
Yeah.
And go again and refresh outside of safe mode. All right, let's
Fingers
see.
crossed. Trying to remember what.
Nope.
Yeah, okay.
Nope. Okay. All right. It is. I think it really is something to do with. All right.
One way we could check is we could get the set of first level children and then get the set of second level children. And if there are matches between the first level children and the second level children, that is, we look at just the children of the top level thing, and then we look at the children of those children. And if the two sets have overlap, then we're in trouble because it's probably doing the infinite loop as you had described.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I would, because like it could potentially be, because you're saying if the grandparent is the same as, let's say we have, like, if the grandparent and the grandchild are the same, but I feel like we could potentially have deeper. It could be deeper. It could be like great grandparent and great grandchild. Like it could be, like, I think
it could be.
So I guess it's looping through and seeing if there's the same. So basically we need to loop through all of its children. So wait, hold on. I'm going to draw this out. And so we're saying that if, for example, this, So if we're saying this and this are the same,
Right.
that's potentially bad. But if it's this and this, that should not have a circular reference, right? That should not be.
Yeah, I don't think it should, although then it has two different, oh yeah, this is totally not going to work. This whole system isn't going to work, because you can have that, right? For instance, if I go to Twitter and then I click a Twitch link, a link on Twitter to Twitch, and then if I had Twitter to a news site that then links to Twitch, we have two entries in this node object, both of which have different parents, but have the same URL potentially.
Ooh.
You see what I'm talking about? Like,
so actually, we shouldn't be doing a tree. We actually should be doing a graph, huh? Because you're basically saying that.
I'm saying that URL is not unique. It does not have a unique parent-child relationship, probably.
You're right, because you're saying it could be like the orange line that I just drew, right?
Yeah. Right.
All right.
Which I think is really just ultimately a manifestation of, I think that here's a possibility. Let's bear with it. If you have a parent and a child, can we actually just concatenate the parent and child together to make it unique, to actually as an ID, and have that sit as the ID itself?
The ID for which node?
By doing that, the ID for every single node. That way, for instance, that orange that's connected right off of Twitter, it would be like Twitter, or it'd be like Twitter orange, Twitter and orange node. And the other one would be actually news orange. And those would be distinct IDs that would render differently and have different sets of, because the IDs are differently, you can actually have multiple of the orange nodes throughout a big tree that you got to in various ways.
I'm like, I think 80% to understanding, and let me try and let me put it into my own words to see if I understood. So at each level, we concatenate the parent with it. So like, for example, the news, it's actually going to be Twitter news is the ID. And then here, for example, let's say this is like YouTube. And so actually its ID will actually be Twitter news YouTube. Is that the right understanding of what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm just thinking of ways of making that, because it's clear that the IDs, I think, are supposed to be unique in a tree in some way, and they're not currently unique, probably by URL. If you can get to the same URL for multiple types of browsing.
Oh, interesting. Or just ignore the second origin.
Right, we could just have it be news YouTube would be the ID as an example here, and Twitter YouTube would be the other one, and those are going to be unique unless we did Twitter news, Twitter YouTube in some way, in which case we're actually in a lot of trouble.
Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna try this. So, okay, let's try this. So actually, that means that we want some sort of a root node. Let's start with a root node then. Okay, so const root is equal to, let's do, because now we want everything to be labeled. So this is the idea of, so now we want even this Twitter one would be like root Twitter, right? Because we want, that's how we would think about it.
Yeah, is there, I see the issue is that the graphs are cyclical sometimes. I'm wondering, is there like a cyclical graph type thing that like we can embed it that looks tree-like but allows it to connect back in some way?
Oh yeah, like for the graphs we can potentially do like for example, for the force layout, we can just do like
Yeah.
we can calculate the depth and set that. Like what would be the
Just thinking of ways around this where we don't have to create special like unique IDs that actually traverses the entire tree for that individual element.
well, I think that
Not that that's a problem, but yeah.
Well, I think that right now we're actually trying to do a workaround because ultimately instead of because right now because what we I see what you mean. Do you mind if we do this way with the ID first and then see if it works, and then if it does or does not, but then we can still
Totally.
try a graph idea next.
Yeah, that sounds good. This could work for my data. We'll see. It's
the circular part.
Interesting because with your data, it could potentially work just fine as is.
Because for the circular data, if we have the ID like this, as you're saying, I feel like it shouldn't be circular anymore, should it?
Yeah, it would be uncircularizing it, I think.
Yeah, but you're
because we would actually have separate leaves for identical URLs potentially, even though the path to getting them is different.
Yeah, but your point is that actually a potentially cyclical graph would be the more accurate representation.
Yeah. I was just thinking of the fastest way to getting something up so that we can kind of take a look at just get a sense of it's mostly about building intuition because I think that we don't know how deep the refer thing is. I suspect it's deep. It's very shallow.
Let's see. Okay, so because I feel like actually if we do it in this way, it would actually be the closest to kind of how we might think about our browser. Okay, let me just try this. So we have the root, and then we have all of our nodes. And so what we're trying to do is go through each of them, and then let's go and get the parent from the, okay, so I'm gonna comment everything out. So I start from scratch. And so we're trying to, go through your data. Actually, let's copy some parts of it over. And so we want to start with making sure that find its parents. And so it's either that there is a referrer. So either there is a referrer, and then in nodes we can find that, or we use a root. And the root we'll call ID is root, and we have children array. And then what we want to do is we want to go and create the nodes. So, okay. Create this node, but now the ID for the node is equal to the parent. It would be the parents.id and URL for this current one, which will eventually become our ID. Oh, Helen, this was like, don't forget to hydrate. That's a good point. I don't have forgot my water. My water is done now. Hopefully we'll be done soon, and then I'm like holding out hope that we're gonna be done soon. Okay, so then let's go and create the node. So actually, wait, ID. And then, yeah, okay. So then there's this, and then we add the last elapsed time to the node. So now it's unique to this parent child ID, and then we should be able to go back and add in all of these parent children things. So let's see. So let's bring this up here, and we're saying, okay, we're not doing that anymore. And we're saying that, let's see. Okay, we also went and got our parent. And so I think, can we just, so we're saying if the node is already a child in the parent node, don't do anything.
You might need to define parent.
Oh, parent has been, oh, sorry, parent is
Oh,
defined
sorry,
up here.
I didn't see that at the top. Got
Oh,
it.
no worries. I'm trying to decide if this is still necessary. Because I'm trying to reason this out of, so there's the parent, and then yeah, because I guess you could have, you could go through that pattern a few different times, I guess, from the parent to the child. So I guess that's still necessary. And then add node to parent's children array, and then add parent to the node. And then finally we're going to, so let's console log the root. Oh, why aren't you console logging? Are you not even gonna console log anymore?
Did it break before? Or how does observable work? Did it break before and it won't do it now, or?
So now we're in safe mode, and so
Okay.
I thought maybe the safe mode just. Oh, I think the safe mode just does not execute at all. I think that's why it wasn't.
Oh, I see. Right, so that gives you a chance to copy and paste your code before.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh no! Why does it keep? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it for some reason did it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I have no idea why. Okay, so now that is, what is this? Whoa, what is this? Console.log nodes. Okay, I think this is something else. Oh yeah, this is something else. Okay, this is another. Okay, so let's go now that we're here. Oh, okay. I think there are some times when the parent is not created yet. Oh, hello, No Theory. Welcome in. Okay, so I think there are times when the parent node is not defined yet. Let's see. So, oh wait. Oh, refer. Yeah, so this was.
Oh, that's cool. It's cool that it works like that in observable.
Sorry, what?
It's cool that debugger works in observable like that.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So No Theory is Ted. Okay. I'm confused because I thought. Oh. Okay. So this is going to be problematic a little bit because we only have refer to reference our parent, but in nodes, we're remembering.
Oh, yeah.
So actually we want to match the ones where the second part is, we want to match the ones where the URL is the same.
Yes. Oh man, Friday afternoon brain.
I know, I'm like so close to being like, okay, let's call it a day because it's late now, or it's getting late. But I feel like we're so close.
We're so close.
We're so close. Okay.
Yeah.
We're so close. Okay, no. Okay. I feel like we're on the right track. Well, so Gilliam, we do need a root to be part of the ID.
What do we need?
But the problem is that we can't always assume that our parent's parent is the root. Like our grandparent could be something else. It doesn't necessarily have to be the root. So that's why we can't use root as part of the ID.
True. Right.
Well, this is hurting my brain a lot. Wait, hold on. The whole point was that we were trying to make unique things.
Right. We needed unique IDs, and we were using URLs before, and it was creating a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And so our current solution is to just concatenate the parent ID with the child ID.
Mm-hmm. But that's screwing with
every time we see it.
But then that's screwing with us trying to find the parent. Because we don't know who the grandparent is.
We don't know which. Yeah, I see the problem now because we don't know. So let's say that I could see an issue right now where there could potentially be lots of parents. All we have is the refer, which isn't complete information. Actually, we don't know the whole tree. So I actually am kind of thinking this visualization may not work as we had expected it. With that in mind,
or not with the information we currently have.
Yeah, if we had a better thread through refer and we knew which URL load of, let's say, whatever it is, news.com generated that particular thing, then we would be able to accurately draw that whole part of the tree. But we can't do that. All we have is the URL. So, but the question is, which one was it?
Yeah.
Which one was it? Was it or like, let's say YouTube, back to your sketch before, YouTube, let's say those each had an additional site we click through. They refer as YouTube. Which YouTube are we referring to there?
Yeah.
We have no way of knowing. Okay, I think I see why this is a fraught experiment. I'm not sure if this is going to turn out the way we want.
But does this help you with, like, in terms of figuring out what to do with the add-on? Like, does this give you ideas in terms of, like, how you might structure the add-on?
Yeah, so I think we were talking a little bit about potentially using just something that we'll call a page ID instead.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then manually passing on this sort of refer type information.
Yeah. Okay.
In some sort of model within the thing. That way we could do exactly what we want. We would actually replace the ID with the page ID as we calculate it.
Yeah.
We could always say, oh, the refer to this was this page ID, which should map to some page load event or something else. And we'll have that somewhere in our list of stuff. There will be a first time we see that page ID, and it'll be like a tab updated event, which is when that page was first loaded, when Twitter was first loaded. So I think this page ID thing is going to solve a lot of issues because then we can connect the dots very accurately for each of these trees.
Wait, but then we still potentially that could still potentially have a circular reference, right? Or would it not, because
it shouldn't. Because it's not URL now. It's just a page ID.
Because the page ID, with the page ID, if let's say we were on Twitter Home, then we go to a new website from Twitter Home, and then from that website we do a tab updated back to Twitter Home. The first Twitter Home and the second Twitter Home has different page IDs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Whereas right now it doesn't, and that's why we're running into this problem.
Right.
I guess we cannot draw the tree as we want right now. Because we don't have enough information. So the question is, do we try putting into a graph just so we have something to see after today?
I mean, what's interesting about this is that putting it into a graph would show us, it may actually give us some
Idea of,
intuition about the structure
yeah,
at the
okay,
very
let's see.
least.
Okay, let's see
How deep is it? You know, that's the big question I think on our minds.
yeah, let's see how quickly I can do this.
Yeah, sure.
Or do you want to go? We can go.
No, not, I mean, I am as intrigued as you are now. But also, if you want to go, that's totally fine.
No, let's try this. Let's see how quickly I can do a graph. Okay, so the thing is that we already have the graph code, so I just need to make sure I put it into the right structure. So for the graph code, I have it here, the draw force chart. So I just need to make sure that if I'm gonna label things, it's ID. I think I just need it as ID and maybe X, Y, and radius. Or I need to have a radius? No, actually, I think I just need an elapsed time, ID, and I think I call... Oh, actually, no, that's the only two things I need. Okay, so let's make this together. Okay, tip number 3.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna get something.
All right, we're gonna do this. Okay, nodes. All right, let nodes. Okay. It is Friday afternoon. Links is equal to. Yeah. Okay. Let's go through each of your. All right. Let's copy this part over. We can do this. All right. Okay, so go through each entry. Oh yeah, and then actually the first part is pretty much the same, which is we want to just create the node and then remember it. And first create node. And then, so for that, let's just say for now that the ID is our URL for the node. We don't need parents or children anymore, actually. So we actually only need this information. And then create a see if parent exists. And then if it doesn't, stop there. And actually this might be really interesting because it might help you see how many orphan nodes you have.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting, I think,
that's a good point.
Every single time about doing a force graph. Okay, so see if parent exists, and if it exists, draw a link between parent and child. So then we can have, actually, let's make sure that if nodes refer doesn't exist, let's do a debugger just in case. Sorry, and that's just me being lazy. And then let's do links. Oh, and here we can now remember how many times we had that particular link. So now we can do refer to URL, and then we can say create if link does not yet exist, and then we can say actually, you know what, I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna call this a link ID. And we'll say links link ID if it does not yet exist, and then we'll do this is equal to the source is the refer and the target is the node ID, and then let's do a count of 0, and then after we create it, let's do that dot count, and then remember every single time it happens, and then I think that should have created our nodes and links. So there are I think it okay, so what's the refer? Ooh, so that's the refer. Okay, so there was a time when the refer does not exist. So this is apparently the refer, the parent that does not yet exist. Okay, so let's just go and...
That makes sense. I think there will be cases where that happens. For instance, in this case, when you sign up through Google accounts on something, there will be a weird refer that won't actually have a page load probably.
That makes sense. So let me just go and create that. So let's see. So let me go and make sure parent exists. And so then I can do nodes refer is equal to ID is the refer, URL is the refer, and then now we've created that, and then I think now, oh, that happens quite a few times apparently. That doesn't exist. That refer doesn't exist. Really? Paper pile. Google.com didn't exist. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well then. So then let's go and see how many nodes and links you have. Wow, you have 1,300 nodes. Oh, that makes sense because there's a lot of.
Oh yeah.
Just. Oh, look at that. So these are medium. Yeah, because you have like 8,000 entries. So the fact that it's, down to 1,300, that makes sense. And Jerry Moore says, "Look at them all." Hello, Nalaj and Jerry Moore. Welcome back in. Okay, so I don't think we want to be like, I don't think we want 1,300 of. Well, okay, let's just see what happens. Let's just do this and see what happens. So I think if we put it in, I think if I do return force chart, yeah, I think that will help us draw it. And I predict that it's gonna look really bad because there are 1,300 nodes. Let's see what happens. Oh man!
Whoa! Pictures.
Wait, but then
you're right.
Hold on. But then there's no colors.
The coloring?
Yeah, why is the coloring off? Let's see what happened. We're getting.
Is that the first thing? Is it all SVG? No, it is.
Yeah, it is. It currently is. Oh man, wait, Gilliam, do you see like is my laptop struggling? I don't actually know how. I think my laptop has been doing pretty good during this time. But look,
I mean, it seems like it's performing enough. I understand with that many nodes in SVG, it'll start to slow down, especially with a force-directed graph, but it's just the color is weird.
Yeah, wait, hold on. What is happening with the color? Okay, I need to go back and look at how my force layout is being calculated.
There's two different colors on your other ones. Is it looking for a field?
Yeah.
That's probably what's causing it.
Yeah. So it is looking for whether the type. It's looking for a type because this one I was looking at website and words, and so I'm just gonna actually. I think I'll call all of it websites. It's just because they're all
Yeah,
websites, so I'll call them
sounds
all
good.
websites. So I'll do type is website, and then actually I think it will, and holy
Whoa! Barfing all over it.
wow,
Well, we saw that coming,
wow.
didn't we?
Ooh, hello, thank you so much for rating Large Data Bank. Welcome in. Ooh. We are currently looking at Hamilton's data, and actually we've like been going on for like 2 hours. So
I'm still having a lot of fun right now. So.
ooh, yeah, how are you doing, Large Data Bank? Yeah, so this is, you came in at the right time. We are oh, did Jay Moore says the stream ripped there for a second when it popped. Hello everyone. Ooh, where are you all coming from? Sorry, that's a stupid question. What were you doing before? What was the stream that you just came from? Okay, so Hamilton, let's fix this.
Yeah, this is a melt. I do think you should take a screenshot of
Okay,
this mess.
let's take a screenshot.
I'm looking at it on the stream itself, and it looks so beautiful.
Actually,
It's like
yeah,
just when you
you're
move it,
right.
it's just very undulating. Like we should take like get a GIF of this ridiculousness.
Ooh. All right, I'll do
I
that.
used to do this a lot. Some of my, especially when I did graphics in R back in the day, the way
Oh.
that the R graphics driver would break in like really sublime ways.
Oh, we used to have a hashtag called D3 broken made art. Um yeah. And then I think there were some people that didn't like that hashtag because people were like, not that D3 broke, it's that you broke D3.
Always.
Oh, hello, so many greetings. Oh, Large Data Bank was doing some database programming on Cockroach TV. Oh no, internet died midstream. Oh, worst end to what was a fun stream. I agree. That is the worst way. Wait, okay. I'm gonna okay, I took a screenshot just now, and then I'm gonna caption it when I tweet it. I'm gonna caption it. This is what happens when Hamilton joins the stream. That's gonna be the okay.
I think we're done.
Yeah. We're done.
I think we should show the world
this is the
whatever
final
this
product.
is.
Okay, wait, okay. This means that we should probably. This is actually good job to my computer. This is my new computer. It is actually not doing poorly with 1,300 nodes.
Kind of beautiful looking as you move moving around.
Yeah, we are so lucky. I upgraded my setup. If it was my old 2015 MacBook, this would have just crashed the stream, like in my computer. Okay, let's figure out how to take out all of the orphan nodes. Okay, so we can't do the filter like we did before because we actually no. Let's just do that. Let's just still say. Let's just still for each node remember its children and its parents. And that way, when we get to drawing the nodes, we can just do a really quick filter on the ones with parents and children. Cells undergoing mitosis.
It does look very cellular.
It is good. Okay, so let's copy and paste this part where we were adding. Okay, so let's go in and add node to parents children array and parent to node. And that way, when we go in to get the nodes, we can say filter them based on, okay, keep only root nodes, no parents, as in they have, oh wait, no. We only want the ones with children. Okay, right, because that previous one was filtering for root nodes. But this time around, we want anything that has links, right?
Right.
Sorry. So that means, all right, so here, so we don't actually need the parents actually. We just want, wait, no. We do want, I'm now getting confused. Okay, we want them if they either have parents or children, because that means they're linked to something. Okay. Yeah.
We want to do a. You just need to do a second loop over this object.
Yeah.
Throw out stuff after you've built it.
Yeah. So we need to filter and say that they must either have parents or they must have children. One of the other. And so because that means that they would have links, and that looks better.
That's starting to thin out a little bit.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I think let's not have the text. So let's call them just words, because that's the one where I don't draw the text. My husband just came out and like pointed to, he was like, time.
Okay, husband's calling it.
Ooh, look at this.
Hey, perfect timing. Yeah.
All right, let's dig into what is this? So this one seems to be, yeah, so you know what? We were right. Oh no. It says I'm offline. It says that I'm currently offline. But then my OBS says that I'm doing well. So let me know in the chat if, okay, we're good. All right. So, okay, cool. We got this.
That's amazing.
So we were right. There were, look at this circular reference here. That was the circular.
There we go.
There's so many circular references here. Okay, let's see what this root node is. What is generating so much traffic? Is it Twitter? Google.
That seems like it makes
.org SVG. Okay, let's see what this is. This one that you spent quite a bit of time on is Gibson Biddle.
Yeah, there's a bunch of posts on Medium that this one guy wrote. He wrote like 7 posts that are each like very short.
Oh,
yeah, they keep clicking on each one.
I see.
To like
Actually,
get more of it.
Yeah, I see. I think that was the biggest loop. Okay, hold on. Let's look at, like, for example, what these loops are. So you go from here, tailorstitch.com, men's knit.
Gotta look at the latest fashions online.
And then all men's. And then tailorstitch.com. Okay, so it seems
that makes sense. It's a bunch of links, bunch of URLs from the same site, same shopping site.
That makes sense. Okay, so
this is so fun.
Look at this too. Like, okay, so the only thing is that we actually don't know. So if we have more time, we can color this by depth, right? Like we can calculate depth and then we can color this by depth. But because this is just like a prototype, and actually it's not even the final, like, it's not even the like final structure we want, we probably won't get into that. But like, but yeah, but like this is very clearly the root. And I also really like how deep this is. This is cool.
Yeah,
actually.
What is that? It's really it's going deep there. What can you highlight, like one of those middle nodes of that long string?
So okay, let's see. You went from Google to Fidelity.
Oh, this is probably my 401k. It's probably just all the same. It would all be the same.
Workplace services, Fidelity.
Okay.
I think
this is the part where it reveals my social security number. You should not highlight these, by the way.
Okay, I'll stop. Sorry.
Not that particular one. Well, because one of the researchers that we're working with actually has said there are sites that sometimes actually do that. They actually put like your social security number in the URL itself.
Oh, wait, hold on. We lost half of Hamilton. Sorry. Okay, Hamilton is back.
Sorry. Did I cut out?
No, that's because of some weird thing that happened to Zoom. Yeah. Okay, I just fixed it. Yeah.
Okay.
We were okay, but we lost half of Hamilton. All right, you're back, Hamilton. Yeah, wait. Okay, sorry for hovering over that. I hope Fidelity
No,
didn't
that's
put
okay.
any like
No, they
confidential
probably
information.
Fidelity's probably
I hope
they're
so.
usually fine. I just know that the internet is a wild place, and many of the sites and domains that we rely on do
Mhm.
not treat our data well in the URLs themselves. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, that's also
the whole
something
thing.
I've noticed. Ooh, okay, you have another one that was bit by bit book. And then the next one
Oh yeah,
is creating mass
probably several pages
collaboration.
of the same book.
Yes. And then slash human computation galaxy zoo. This is cool. And then there's another one. Ooh, I like this one. You split into two from Mozilla careers to two different positions. Are you looking for new positions within Mozilla?
No,
I'm just
I
kidding.
regularly go to the Mozilla careers page to see what they're hiring for. It's always interesting to see. Uh, yeah, I
Ooh,
wouldn't have to go to the Mozilla job site for that. I'm curious about these really big ones that are off to the side.
which one?
Oh, this is so fun. And really, force directed stuff really just is so much easier with better computers. Because I feel like when this stuff first came out, it was so
Yeah,
sluggish.
yeah. So the only thing
Yeah,
about this is like I can't quite tell which one is the root right now. Ooh, GitHub Mozilla.
right.
Ooh, this is the rally one. This is your
Okay.
rally. GitHub.com
Into the
slash rally.
projects.
New projects. There's
Projects new.
a core add-on. I think you spent a while in this pull request. Pull request 295.
Probably reviewing it or
And then from there you
wait,
went.
what is the radius of the circle
That's how long you
again?
spent.
Was it the number of times I visited it?
Yeah, elapsed
Oh,
milliseconds.
I
So
see.
wait, this big one. What is this? Micro.com. Oh, Miro.com.
Oh,
App
Miro.
core.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are you familiar with Miro?
Mm-mm.
It's like a giant board where you can like add sticky notes. Lots of teams use it
Oh.
to do ideation and stuff like that, and brainstorming and
Oh.
organization.
Oh, I see.
So it makes sense that I would spend a ton of time actively using that, actually, like moving my mouse around.
I'm just a little bit annoyed right now that we can't see which one is the root node. That is the only thing that I am unhappy about. Actually, you know what we can do? What we
Yeah, with
can do
the Google example, we can, but yeah.
here, let's do this. We can go through each of the nodes and we can say if it does not have any parents, then that means that it is a root. And then we can say that that type is a website. And that way that will label it.
Oh, smart.
Thank you. Okay. So, okay, you have a lot of root nodes.
Oh,
I
okay.
kind of regret
That
this.
makes sense. There's a lot of stuff on the.
So, hold on.
Could we
Actually,
also maybe only set it if it has like more than two children or something like that?
ooh, yeah. Let's do and d dot children. Well, it's not going to be depth though. It's going to be breadth. If I do it this way, is more than one.
Yeah, right.
So, ooh, okay. Here's
It helps a little bit.
y common in. Actually, you know what? Here's what I'll do. So let's see which one all of the root nodes, but for the label, I'm gonna do d.id and then I'm gonna trim it to. I'm gonna shorten it. How do I shorten something? Dot take. Let's take the first like 15 characters or 20 characters. And then up here in the force layout, I'm gonna say render for the text, show d.label or d.id. Yeah, then I think that then. Okay, that was obviously. Okay, that is obviously not the. I can never remember what's the for strings if I only want the first like n characters. What is the What is the thing? What is?
Couldn't you just slice it? Do they have slice in Lodash, or can't you just slice it?
Yeah, I think so. Wait, can you slice? Oh, truncate. There we go. We want to truncate. Yeah. All right, let's truncate. Because slice, I don't know if slice will also make an array back. I don't know. Actually, slice might actually
I think it
work.
doesn't with the string.
Okay.
I mean, if it's a string, it should return a string.
Wait, I lost where I was. Okay. Yay!
Yay! All right.
Okay.
That's pretty manageable.
Yeah.
A little more manageable.
Yeah. So here's your Google Docs, as expected.
Of course.
Oh, here's your Y Combinator.
Yeah, that makes sense. Use aggregator.
And this Google one goes really deep. Oh, look at that. This is also a root node. Oh, so you started here, but then you also ended up at Google. It seems like
I got to it in 2 different ways.
Probably.
Oh,
I think
you're
if I remember
right.
correctly.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I bet you the first time I got to that whole set of Medium articles was through Google because I didn't remember the name of it. And the second time, I bet you I just added into my URL bar. I just started typing DHM model because that's what it was about.
Oh.
And it probably just went straight there, so there would be no refer, so it would technically be a root node.
Oh, interesting. Gilliam has a. And Jerry Moore says, delete my browser history when I die, please.
Seriously, I know. I definitely had a little anxiety showing. Like, how embarrassed am I about to get?
Sorry
for anything too bad.
Sorry for calling out the.
No, not at all. Honestly, I feel better about it just knowing that I'm such a boring browser.
Your phone is where everything is at.
That's true, and that's something that the Rally team is we're intimately aware of. That the real action is on mobile.
Ooh, look at this. There's also you have LinkedIn feed. You went.
A colleague of mine left, so I probably. Oh, maybe
Digits
not.
wins awards for real-time finance engine, and digits.com/.
I have no idea what that even is. What is digits.com? I remember doing that.
I don't know.
Let's see.
And then there's
This is
a
fun.
Lenny Rachitsky.
Oh yeah, that's a product manager that I follow.
My business model. And then
That's
from
smart.
there, ooh, cool. From there, look, you went to 3, you opened up 2 other tabs. So there's Perel.com/thank you, and Teachable.com.
Discovered how to crush it on Twitter.
And then
Interesting.
Perel.com/essays. What?
I clearly have not taken to heart whatever how to crush it on Twitter is. I never post.
Oh, a ResearchGate. Oh, but only one thing from ResearchGate.
That makes sense. I feel like I always don't know why I'm on ResearchGate.
Awesome data. Awesome public data
Oh,
sets.
I bet you this was when we were talking about like how basic is your browsing as a concept,
Oh,
like
yeah,
how
yeah.
I was trying to find daily dumps of the Alexa top million sites for the US. It's out there. I know it is. There's a researcher who crawls it and publishes something daily, because I did a visualization of actually visualizing the rank over time, and you see over the top million, you actually just see this sort of, it's almost like hair, watching the ways in which it changes over time when like a big player changes things.
Oh wait, there's many requests from chat to just trim the HTTPS out. So actually, let's do that. .trim. Can I just do it that way? Trim and trim out the HTTPS. Good thing that you're going on mostly HTTPS. Oh no!
Yeah,
unexpected token.
Nice that they've made it easy to do now. To be HTTPS by default.
Wait. Trim. Okay, I'm gonna do. This is an unnecessary rabbit hole I've gone down. Oh, there we go. Okay, that looks much better. Ooh, most of your things are HTTPS. Okay. Oh, except for it also turns out Wells Fargo. And then you went
sure,
into...
why not?
And orgspace.google. It's fine.
Workspace.
It's fine.
I like it.
And then
brand suggestions.
I should not have hovered over your Wells Fargo because there was a bunch of like...
Oh, that's fine. I don't think they actually encode anything in the URL that's sensitive.
Okay, I'm glad. But I like that we can see which ones are largely like spawns, like one-off website readings, and then you never go any deeper in. Oh, I guess these are... Yeah,
probably the shallowest reading imaginable would be Hacker News. I don't even know why I do it. It's so reflexive.
I don't blame you.
Surprised Twitter isn't just like a big thing, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't actually read anything on Twitter. Oh.
It might be. Actually, my husband has kindly reminded me that we actually were supposed to do something at 4, and I totally forgot because we were having fun. I thought I didn't have a hard stop, but apparently we did. So I guess this is the stop that we have to do.
Well, we landed in a really cool place.
We did. I'm so glad. So I guess, oh man, oh no, I think, oops, we went so long that we left the our Lullatone playlist, and so I hope I don't get copyrighted on this particular video because it started playing other songs.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought I had it on repeat. Okay, so we actually have to go. This was about an hour longer than I thought this was gonna go. And so I guess thank you for coming in, Gussie. Welcome in. And then I hope you stick around next time. But for today, I think we have to wrap up. And yes, a review time for Hello Near This. So today, Hamilton and I brainstormed for a really long time, about an hour. And then we started trying to make a tree diagram out of his browsing data, specifically to look at if there's any particular rabbit holes that he goes down from like specific sites. And our theory was that he was going to have a lot of rabbit holes from Twitter. And it turns out he doesn't. We can't even find Twitter on here. We spent a while getting caught up in a circular reference that proved that we can't use at least a D3 tree layout. And so we moved on to a force simulation / like node and link graph. And that's where we ended up. And that's how we were able to see kind of where Hamilton starts his browsing, and sometimes when he goes really deep, or sometimes when he just like is like a shallow, like opens up a new story from Hacker News. So yeah, lots of fun things that we did today. And yeah, I agree, Hello Near This, a great guest, great stream, great guest. Thank you, Hamilton, for coming on today. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you'll come on again, and we'll do this again.
I'd be thrilled. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I don't know. I feel like usually when people, when like I go on other people's streams and stuff, they'll be like, do you want to mention any of your socials? So I guess this is do you want to mention any of your socials?
Oh, sure.
Where can people find you online is usually
true.
How people hosts.
Yes, right.
And so this is my first attempt at as being a host. Where can we find
You're doing
you?
great. Probably find me on Twitter at Hamilton Ulmer. That's ULMER. Yeah, I tweet occasionally. And if you're interested in this particular project, is Ted still in the chat? I can't remember. So the project that I'm working on right now with Mozilla, this project called Mozilla Rally, hasn't been launched yet, and it will have a soft launch at the end of this month, and that includes a social media presence. But if you follow me on Twitter, you'll probably see posts about it. And I'm sure if you follow Shirley, you will hear more about it again as we continue down this exploration.
Yeah. Um, ooh. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Gilliam. And Hamilton has the best name. Um, well, thank you so much. And thank you so much to everybody that joined today. Happy Friday. I hope you all have a great weekend. And I will see you next Wednesday. Bye bye.